Hello, beautiful mamas. So, welcome back to day 5. You guys, first off, I cannot believe that it's day 5 already of this challenge. But what I will say to you guys is that this has been a week full of knowledge, not just for me, but I'm sure for you all as well. But I'm telling you, if you all didn't get anything, I know I got a lot of this week. Just to recap, day 1, we talked about finances, and moms and money, not just finances in general, because with us as moms, we do things a little bit differently, right? And then on Tuesday was also one of my favorites where we talked about spiritual wellness with one of my friends from middle school, which is amazing because we were able to reconnect. And that one was super amazing. So if you hadn't watched those two, go back. And then Wednesday, I was solo, but I talked about relational wellness because that's where I believe I shine the most. And then yesterday, we did mental wellness with another one of my friends who has literally lived through those things and is able to actually help you level up in your mental wellness because if we're not well, it's hard for us to make sure that our family is well. And then today, drum roll, today is all about physical wellness. And you guys, let's just be honest, physical wellness looks different to us as moms than it does to actual, anyone else really, if we think about it. Because if we're not well physically, how can we actually take care of our family, right? Okay, so before I go too far, I would just love to welcome you all. And if you have not already signed up for this officially, please go to the unprofessionalmom.com/me on purpose challenge. And what's going to happen is that you're going to get this information for today, but I'm actually going to follow up with you guys because that's what I do. I want to nurture you. I want to give you guys information. So no, I'm not going to just be sending you stuff like buy this, buy that. However, I will send you information that could actually help you level up in your life because for me, that's what it's all about. So you're going to level up in your mom life. And Jarkeisha, hello. She was on here yesterday, you guys. She was the panelist for mental wellness. And please go back and check that one out because it was amazing. Okay, so today, you guys, this panelist for today, the way we met was interesting because I never knew that this would ever happen. But this person is actually a sister from another mother and mister. And I don't know, it's just really been amazing having her in my life because I've learned so much from her. And she'll probably say she's learned so much from me. But watching her journey, watching her grow, watching her sprout, from the way things were has just been amazing. Now, I'm not going to ruin her story because her story is her story, and I want her to share what she wants to share of her story. I'm going to respect that. I'm going to respect her and her boundaries, of course. All right, so what I am going to do is bring her up here on the screen with me. And you guys, so Adrian, you're muted. You guys, please help me to welcome. Oh, let me pull her up so that you guys can see this. Help me to welcome my sister, Adrian Slaughter.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I am currently dying some lots.
I love it.
But I'm here. All in.
Awesome. So you guys, I forgot to tell you guys. So she is an awesome hairstylist. So look, find her on social. I know she's on Facebook. I know she's on Instagram. If you're on anything else, we can let the people know that too. But find her, you guys, and she is in the Alabama area, and she actually travels to different cities in Alabama because she is in demand. So if you're in the Alabama area, find her because she is on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first question I'm going to ask you is simply, what's your story? And share only as much as you want to share.
What is my story?
Yes.
Is this for my physical health or just my story?
In general, and then how it led, and then you're going to talk about how it led up to, your physical health.
Okay, so my story is I had a wonderful mom that wasn't capable of doing what was needed to be done for me. So I ended up in foster care with the Miltons when I was 17 years old. I ended up graduating high school and moving away, flight attendant life, married, divorced, and so on and so forth. Depression. I became a mom and experienced depression, which leads up to the physical health where I am right now. I gained a lot of weight, like 50 pounds, a lot of weight during COVID. And I had a really bad relationship with food. So the doctor told me that I was like pre-diabetic and narcoleptic. But come to find out, they went hand in hand. The diabetes and the narcolepsy went hand in hand. What was happening for me was I was taking Adderall to stay awake, but I would still fall asleep, especially with the weight gain. I was falling asleep even more. And what ended up happening was I'm like, something isn't right. Like I'm still tired. You dealt with the medication, something isn't right. I went to another doctor. They did my blood work and everything. Come to find out that's where the diabetes come from. They were like, you need insulin like right now because my A1C levels was like bad for like 3 months or something. So I researched a little bit here and there, and it said if I fast, like my friend, she's Nation of Islam. She was like, well, we fast like 3 days a month to keep the toxins out and all of that. So I just did it. I did everything I possibly could to not get on insulin. So that was my reason why, my health. Me doing that, I reversed mine. So I fasted for 3 days. After the 3-day fast, I ended up going 21 days because they say it takes 21 days to change your mental. So I did the no sugar, no bread, no pasta, anything that could possibly turn straight into sugar, which was putting me straight to sleep. So reversed my blood sugar level. And in that time, I put 2 and 2 together. I got off the Adderall for the narcolepsy. It was really hard. I won't say that it was a walk in the park, of course, because I probably slept for like 2 weeks straight, like getting off the medicine, like I couldn't pick my body up. I was so tired, like deathly tired. And I'm thankful for my at the time boyfriend because he, supported me. And I tell anybody, like, you have to have somebody to get, past that hump. Well, that happened in around August. So August, September, October, November. After I got off the narcolepsy medicine and, I was no longer pre-diabetic, I started to change my relationship with food then. Well, I took it a step further. In November, I stopped eating meat altogether. I know, crazy. Well, I ended up losing 30 pounds. And me not eating meat, I feel absolutely amazing. Like, I have mental clarity and my physical health, like so for the first one, so November, December, January, February, it took about 3 months for me to see the weight start to come off, but we could see the inches coming off, but not the weight. But I was feeling good, like I wasn't sluggish, I wasn't tired. Now, I talk with a lot of excitement, but it's like this all day long. I have more energy than I ever have in my whole entire life, and I'm 32. More energy than I ever have in my life. No coffee, no Red Bulls, nothing that I used to have. I don't need any of it. I'm not on any medications for nothing. The depression is gone. Yeah, so changing my relationship with food just changed my whole mental health altogether because I was able to think and not depend on food. So then I took it another step, like changing my mental health. I dug deeper into the word. I was actually able to set goals and see them through. And the food and the physical health, it just was a big, big thing for me. So that's pretty much the story from rags to riches, with the mom and everything. Even forgiving her, when I went with the physical health, that helped my mental health, which allowed me to dig deeper within myself and say, okay, like, I'm not mad at my mom, the physical being. She just had a weaker spirit, and I have to forgive her, and then that allows my spirit to be okay, and which makes me more happy and excited. So, yeah.
I love that. So first off, thank you for sharing your story because one thing I've noticed, and a lot of my panelists as well, is that sharing our stories. I know there probably a time in your life where you didn't feel comfortable with sharing it, but it frees you. Sharing your story
Yes.
frees you, and then it helps you to just actually get through life. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but if you're a mom out there, you haven't shared your story, find someone that you trust to share your story with, or just share it and don't even care what they think. But I'm
Write it down.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that you changed your relationship with food because that was the exact same thing I had to do. Um, I don't know because like I was leaning and depending more on food than I was. So first off, I hate to say it this way, but I really believe that I was putting food on a higher pedestal than I was putting God.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because like when I would have problems, where would I would go? I would go straight to the food, not to God, which is where we're supposed to go. So I really had to reanalyze my relationship with food too. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really thank you for that. So one more question, then we have about two more. How do you prioritize physical wellness as a mom, but maybe not just as a mom, but also, being a business owner, more or less?
Okay, so for right now, I do the whole 5 a.m. Okay, so Major, my son name is Major. He's 9. He's totally awesome. He is gone for the summer, so I absolutely am just out here living my best life.
I love it.
But when school is in, I go. I had to learn to extend my day. Well, when I was overweight and had bad relationships with food, I was like, it's never enough time in the day. Well, as a business owner, I had to learn how to make more time. So if I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I would get up at 5 a.m. So from 10 to 12, that's 2 hours. 12 to 5, 12 to 5, that's 7 hours. 7 hours of rest do me well. So me starting my day at 5 a.m., that's early for a lot of people, but for me, I was able to extend my day. Some days, if I didn't work so late, I would probably like if I want to sleep in to like 8 or 9, which I never sleep past 7 o'clock, totally stress me out leaving the bed. But I would stay up to like midnight and do the laundry. If I wake up at 5 a.m., I wake up about 4:30 so I can be at the gym at 5 when it opens. And then so I work out from 5 to 6, and then I get in the sauna from 6 to 6:30, and I'm at home at 7 o'clock to get my son on the bus and ready for school. So we have a whole routine right now at this exact moment. But like if let's say I don't go to the gym, I just extend my night, and then I do the whole Planet Fitness and 3 in the morning, which is what's happening now. I'm all over the place. But getting on a routine, prioritizing it myself, I feel good. Like the energy, if I don't work out, I can tell. And then because I'm standing on my feet all day, my knees are hurting and my feet are hurting and my back is hurting. But the sauna and the pool, it has really it releases a lot in my mind and my body feels good. And it gives me the natural energy that I would, used to need for coffee and stuff. So that's me. Now I know that it works. I'm all in. All in.
I love that. That's the thing. We have to, as moms, figure out what works. And the way we figure out what works is that we try different things. And when we find out what works, we learn a little bit more about ourselves, which is the whole reason for this movement. So thank you for sharing that. Okay.
No
So
problem.
the next question is, what are some simple and realistic ways that moms can prioritize their physical health and incorporate exercise and self-care routines and self-care into their routines?
Simple and realistic. Okay, realistic for me was if I go to the gym in the evening because my major likes to go, I'll do it in, well, one, I found a gym with a daycare. Planet Fitness is only, $20. It's $10 if you don't have a black card, but I do the black card because you can go to any Planet Fitness anywhere. And because I'm a traveling stylist, I kept both gym memberships. The one I have here at home Love it so much. The sauna, the pool is so amazing. Upstairs, downstairs, great. But it's not 24 hours a day, and it's only the one in the town. So I love Planet Fitness, but I can't take my kid there. So I chose to join the gym. It's only $15 more. It's $25, and it has a full daycare in it, the whole nine. So that was simple and realistic. No excuses. Literally, you can leave the kid for 2 whole hours. You said simple and realistic. Yeah, prioritizing. You just have to want it. Can't nobody want it for you. You have to write it down and know your reason why. My reason why is I want to live a long, healthy life. You can't make that money if you're tired and lazy. Tired and lazy. Sit on the sofa all day. Girl, get up. Okay, take it further. Go outside and walk around. Get some sun. Experience the nature. That right there would just get you excited getting up early in the morning. Some days, what I'll do is turn the air off. I realize that if I'm sitting on a sofa with the air on, got me a blanket, not getting nothing accomplished. How about this? Turn the air off, maybe turn the heat on to about 72, 74, get your blood flowing. Put my waist trainer on and go clean up something. So now you're doing something productive in the house. That basket of laundry over there, and you're still up. So now that's self-care. Cleaning your house is self-care, okay? You need to get that done, or it's just gonna sit there and mess with your mind. So now your mind is cluttered because you ain't did the best of the clothes. So now 2 birds, 1 stone. Just getting up and getting movement matters.
That is so good. I never thought about turning the air off or the heat on and putting on my waist trimmer and cleaning up. Never thought about that because I'm sure that kind of helps speed the metabolism process up as well. That is amazing. And honestly, that is a great form of self-care and order, you guys. So the way you live, like if you have clutter, what they say is that clutter is pretty much like how can I put it? It almost kind of tells you what's going on in your mind. If you're cluttered outwardly, you're normally cluttered inwardly. So if you can get decluttered outwardly, it can also help your cluttering that's going on inside of your mind. So yeah, that is good. Thank you.
For sure. But like I say, it's all connected. I've been messy my whole life. I'm 32. It wasn't until I started to really dig deep and chase God, and well, it all started with the weight. Losing the weight. No, it all started with them folks telling me I was gonna be on insulin. That's a life-changing thing. Because pretty much get on that insulin and get stuck. And I wasn't about to do that. So that was my reason why my health.
Good. That's good because if we're not well, if we're not healthy, then our kids, I mean, what about our kids? Who's going to take care of our kids if something happened to us because we didn't take care of our health? And that's why I always tell people, I'm sure you've heard this before. You know, when you get on an airplane, they tell you, know this, you've probably been the person that said this. They tell you to put your own air mask on first if they drive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Put your own on because if you don't put your own on first, what's going to happen is you may pass out before you can even help anybody. And if you have think about like my little kids, they wouldn't even know what's going on. They would put theirs on to try to tap me to wake me up, not realizing that I need an oxygen mask. So as moms, we have to put our own oxygen mask on first. I love it. I love that. All right. So the next one, how can moms actually overcome barriers or challenges when it comes to maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Like a barrier for me would be that the kids are always around. Maybe there's not enough space, but you've already kind of answered that one with the turning the air off and the putting on the waist trimmer and just cleaning up the house. So that was a good one. But what about some other things? What other things can you think of?
Overcoming the barrier. I would definitely say overcoming the barriers for me. I like when I go to the gym or I'm doing the sauna thing early in the morning, late at night, I write stuff down. So really when my mind is busy, I have to really just write it down and get it all out on paper and then follow a checklist. That was part of my barriers. Like I put my working out, and then if you don't work out, for me, if I don't work out, like I feel it, and I'm like, why am I, anxious, or why is my back hurting, or why did I scratch? So because I know what that feeling is, I'm putting that on the list, like how you would want to do your dishes or start the dishwasher, get in there and do some 15-minute yoga. So you just have to prioritize, like write it down, like it's, you fix your lunch for work, let's get in there, we're gonna put this, make a spot for it. And like I said, with the routine of me going every morning at 5 a.m., it's I'm in the routine. So I think that would be the biggest barrier, is just starting. You have to start. Once you start, it just all flows and it's all connected.
That is so good. Just start, ladies. Like, so I like how you were talking about like adding it to your routine, because the biggest problem for us is that we don't add it into our routines. And I don't know if you've heard of it. I know you have. So I don't know if our other moms out there have heard of Atomic Habits by James Clear. That book kind of shows you how to like habit stack so that you can start putting in better habits on top of the old ones and start getting rid of those old ones. So for this, it sounds like we once you start, like Adrian just said, go ahead and start habit stacking. Add this habit, this routine, add this to another routine that you're already implementing. Because you can do it, and like she said before, you kind of have to want to. But how do you want to? So first off, you have to figure out why. Like, why is this important to me? And you really have to feel it, because if you don't feel the importance of it, then you won't do it. Like, for example, like when those cravings come, you feel it and you go and eat something, right? So see if you can find a way to want this, to want, your health to be better. And once you find that way, because I don't want that way to be you going to the doctor or the hospital and they say this could happen, like Adrian's story. So I'd rather you do it now, because like for me, a lot of people in my family have been diagnosed with like high blood pressure, diabetes, had a lot of people in my family with heart problems. But I don't want that. Go ahead.
So I'm going to add to that. When you said a lot of people in my family, that is one of the biggest things that I hate to hear so much. So the way I have been taught with my researching is, if a lot of the generational curses, well, your grandmother been eating pig feet and neck bones and all this, and she fed it to your mom fed it to you. Like, it was a never ending cycle. So a lot of this stuff really does revert back to what we're eating. Yep. And if you don't clean your tummy up, a lot of the problem sits in your tummy and it spreads from there. So, but it's what you eat, what you put in. So when they say, oh, high blood pressure or cholesterol or the diabetes, the sugar intake, unless you're born with it, it's literally just what you're eating, and you can turn it around at any given time. You can do it. It's uncomfortable, but it's not unattainable. Yeah. You can do it.
That is so good. I'm so glad you said that, because it really is. And I was thinking to myself, like, if all these people in my family have these issues, then there has to be a common denominator. And so for me, I would always try to make sure that I am treating my body well, because if I'm feeding it the same thing they were feeding it, that's been causing their issues, and the same thing is going to happen to me, and absolutely. I don't want that.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing that. That was a great point. So if you noticed, okay, because first off, I don't know if you've seen the movie What the Health, HEALTH. They were talking about how, well, first off, that's what made me go vegan for 30 days. I'm not necessarily vegan now, but I don't eat a lot of meat. I call myself a flexitarian, but I normally eat what I feel like my body needs at that moment.
Yes,
which is smart. But on What the Health, they talk about how a lot of the things that are hereditary, there's only a small percentage, and the huge percentage, what really tips it over is our intake, our dietary intake. which makes sense. So once you think about your dietary intake and start looking at the foods that you eat, that's when things start to change. Because like for me, I've lost 38 pounds, and yeah, I'm loving it. 38 pounds, and that's just by listening to my body. And it's crazy because like I can't do a lot of workouts because of my excuse me, my health. But just being able to tweak my diet has caused me to lose 38 pounds. So it's like, hey, whatever works, works.
That's wonderful. And yes, it matters. The food matters. It matters so much. Like I swim. I'm still a little big. I weigh 209 pounds and my bones and knees feels like I weigh 209 pounds. So for me, and I lost 30 pounds this year.
That's amazing.
My body a little bit of time to catch up. It took about 3 months for the weight to start. Like I could see the inches, you could see my face slimming, but the pounds were there. 238 pounds just sitting there. So we see it, but to actually, get in there and I'm like, I'm looking slimmer, but the scale ain't changing. Well, it takes time to catch up. And so that's where a lot of people just drop out, forget it, because you don't see the change immediately. So once the instant gratification, take that away. Just go ahead and get rid of it. And then, like what we talked about earlier, for the other moms to tell someone about their story and get it out, even if you don't want to say it out loud to someone, make a video and say it because it gets it out your heart. You said everything, your personal journal, your personal diary. You don't have to necessarily tell the whole world yet, but once you release it here, you'll be able to tell the whole world and freely because it's no longer here. I heard the Sarah Jakes Roberts said the other day, she said, if you keep protecting your heart, God can't project you. So, ooh, it was good.
That's in one of the videos you sent me. Was it?
Yes, the one I just sent you a few days ago.
Yeah.
It literally just popped up out of nowhere. She said, sometimes things in our life will happen, and really and truly, it's the spirit, it's the devil that makes something happen when he's trying to stop us from reaching our true destiny. So what he'll have, let's say, me not living with my biological mom. So now in my mind, I'm thinking I'm abandoned, I'm unloved, and instead of focusing on the good, like meeting you and your family, I'm so focused on the bad, and I have my heart closed off. Now I'm missing the family function. Now I'm out here being the black sheep by choice, feeling unloved. And then when you close yourself off like that, God can't put you in positions because you're so protected. You don't want to trust somebody, you don't want to love nobody. And I'm missing so many blessings and all this good love. So when you like, okay, the devil did that, but God was working so much harder. But because the devil got into our mind,
that is it, because he only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. If he can't do those three things, he ain't coming. He's just not coming.
No.
So thank you for pointing that out. And you're right, because a lot of times our weight gain comes from our mindset, the way we think, the way we feel. And like I said the other day, our feelings are really a gift from God, but we have to actually control them and not let them control us. When that feeling comes, we have to ask ourselves, well, what is this trying to lead me to, instead of just letting it take over? Because like as a teacher, I've seen many students and sometimes even faculty member kind of let their emotions, take over. And when your emotions take over, you're technically no longer in control, even though you are the one that's going to get in trouble for it. You are the one that's going to get the consequences from it. I mean, there's no way around it. No way.
Yes.
But let me go ahead and ask you this last one, because I know you're busy, so I can get you on off of here. So what are some practical strategies or resources, if you have like resources, like you said, the Planet Fitness or places like that, that moms can use to manage their physical wellness?
Okay, so I will say resources for me, Google is your best resource, okay? And Headway app. It is a very good app because You can type in literally anything from obesity to mental health to how to change your relationship, food, whatever your thoughts are or whatever subject you're looking to find, it would, if it's not the exact, it'll give you something close to it. And then with the self-help books, they're audio books, you read a book in just a few minutes, and when you retrain your mind, you'll start putting those things in play. So those are really good resources. The internet is the biggest thing. It's like right there. And then like the Planet Fitness, you can go to any Planet Fitness in any town, for $20. We spend that at McDonald's. Like, so it just all goes back to wanting it and what is your reason why. Gotta have a reason.
That's good. Thank you for bringing up the Headway, because I forgot about that. Because you can go in there and search, because I have Headway too. It's a nominal fee, but what is it, like $20-$30 a year? It's not very expensive.
Saves you counseling, teach you about stocks and bonds. You can
and it's a very small amount, and what they do is they take books and they condense them into like 10 to 15 minutes, so you don't have to sit there and just read books for hours. You can just get the main points of a book in like 15 minutes, and books are pretty much how can I put this? So let's say, for example, I went through something for 2 years. Yes, they're cheat codes, and then what I do is I give you the secrets in this book that took me 10 years to get through, and help you get through it in less than 10 years, maybe even less than a year, or less than half a year. That's pretty much what books are for us. So Headway is really good. And she was saying audiobooks, so you have Audible. You can probably find like a trial membership, but even YouTube has free audio books. There's like no way that you would have to pay for that stuff. And then there's Hoopla. My panelist and friend from yesterday was telling me about Hoopla, because Hoopla is like it's free audio, but what you do is you add your library card to Hoopla, and then you get free audio books. And then Libby, Hoopla. And then Libby is cool, because with Libby, you can get free digital books through the library. So these are two apps that I actually have. I haven't used Hoopla yet because I hadn't had a chance to set it up, but I do have Libby. I've used Libby. I use Headway. I use all those things because they actually work. They work now. And what they do, and I'm going to say this, what they really do is they change your thinking. And when your thinking changes, your identity changes, because nothing changes until your identity changes. I mean, so blank. Like if I'm identifying as a fat person, I'm going to always be fat. I literally had to change the way I saw myself. I had to change the way I look at myself in the mirror, like point blank. Because it wasn't until I changed the way I saw myself in here that this out here could change. Because I always say things happen twice. It happens here first. Everything happens here. And then there's the physical manifestation of it. And that's
for sure.
That's
for sure.
Yeah, that is real. It's real. But look, I thank you so much for being a part of this and sharing your endless I can't even think of the word, just the funds of knowledge that you have. I just really thank you for that, and for being authentic with my people, because I believe that authenticity, like I said before, being real, being open, sharing our story is what actually helps us to level up in life, to become free, to free ourselves.
Release the glory of God and allow Him to use you. Call it what it is.
Amen. That's what it is. Because see, like I've told them before, in order for me to find me, I had to find God. When I found God, I found me. And when I was in the search looking for me, I found Him. Like there's no way to separate yourself from the Creator. I mean, now, because I didn't really know who I was, and in order for me to figure out who I was, I had to find Him. Like there was no way, because I thought I knew Him. Let's just be real. I thought I knew Him, but religion and orthodoxy and doctrine kind of keeps you from knowing the true fullness of who He is. And so I like to tell people, get to know Him for yourself, because when you get to know Him for yourself, you get to know you. And if this isn't your cup of tea, I understand. You can stop it right here. But this is my truth. This is what I live. It's what I live.
It's what I live too. And so when I keep saying it's all connected, it's literally all connected, because the moment I decided, hey, I want more. I had to dig deep, and then once I conquered this, but it's like you can't teach a kid calculus. You got to start off with steps. So you can't just jump in right now and say, I'm going to go to the gym every single day at 5 a.m. I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to organize. You have to. I didn't do that. I would be telling you a full-blown lie if I tell you that it was that easy. It was not. And it's not till right now that it's like a part of my life, even with the organization and the cleanliness and the anxiety. And I'm here to tell you, baby, the anxiety, the depression, they all go together. You change your deal, you change your ideology about the food and your relationship with the food. You step away from the religion aspect of it, stop playing church. A lot of us, I was in church, I'm not gonna talk about anybody else. I was in church, but I did not have a relationship with God. So for me to know that and to be 32 and I've been in church my whole entire life and I never had a relationship with God, that was big for me. I had to really dig deep and you said something, you said you can't separate the two. He's literally in here. And so the more we push him out because we're trying to calm his thoughts with the ice cream
yep.
and the world, then that's the depression of it.
Yeah.
Because now you're tired. Now you're depressed because you're running from yourself and you can't run from yourself.
You cannot. Oh, that is so good. And that's the thing. We try to run from ourselves and the enemy sometimes will trick us and make us think that what God wants for us is scary. And then some kind of, for whatever reason, we believe it oftentimes.
It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. But there's no such thing. Like if you're truly a believer, there's no such thing as being a comfortable believer, you know, or a comfortable Christian.
It gets easier.
Yeah, when you become comfortable in Christ, you don't become comfortable in your own strength.
It's so electrifying right now. The type of this time last year, I was 50 pounds overweight, and I had 50 pounds of mental stuff. Okay, and with the physical, I was tired. And with me being tired, you realize you're not so much tired because you're sluggish, but you're tired inside. So when you're mentally tired, you might have the ideal, hey, I want to go to the gym, but because your mental is so full, you can't do nothing about it. And so that's what I mean. It's all connected. It was all connected for me, and I'll never put it on nobody else. But for me,
it's connected. You are what you think. I think it was Edgar Allan Poe who says you are what you think. You may not be what you think you are, but you are what you think. What you think actually shapes your identity. And I tell people, your spirit can only work with what you feed your soul, what you feed yourself through your eyes, your mouth, your hands, your senses.
Yes, for sure.
So what you're feeding yourself is going to grow, it's going to sprout.
So you can feed it something good or you can feed it something cheap. Why do you think that? And then when you dig a little deeper, I've been in this whole dig deep thing. When you think about, okay, why is it so expensive to eat healthy? Why doesn't the healthy taste so good? Or, because it's just like, why are the good schools and the good houses so expensive?
Yeah.
Because you dig deeper, you got to push a little bit harder, but it's so worth it once you get there. But find your reason why. It's going to all pan out.
Good. So I hear a lot of people, especially in the business arena, in certain business arenas, they always ask their people to find their why, because without your why, not much will change. But I do believe it's a bit deeper than the why, and not just finding your why, but actually getting emotionally attached to it, because that's the difference. When you get emotionally attached to your why, that's when things change. That's when you change, because nothing changes until you change. Nothing changed for me until I changed. Nothing changed for Adrienne until she changed. And the change always happens on the inside, and then it shows outwardly. That's how it works.
Yes, it does. Like those inches, that inches happened on the inside first, and then the pounds started to come out.
Yep.
But it didn't happen overnight. It did not happen overnight, but it happened. And I could have stopped right then, time I saw the inches. Ooh, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna start back eating these burgers. Like for what? Oh, vitamins. You have to sometimes. One thing I would like to say, when I stopped eating the meat, I did a little B12 and a little iron pills to kind of offset the, you need meat to get this, this, and this. But then as I'm reading further, research is your best friend, it says, you don't want to live off of these vitamins because one, your body makes this stuff naturally. But then if you ever not take this stuff, you're going to feel awful. So I just would research what food would give me this energy, or what food would give me more iron, or what food would make me whatever that I might be lacking from meat, or whatever emotion I'm feeling, or if my muscles are tired, I need potassium, bananas, vitamin D, sun, God, and it's there. Mental health, food, the Lord, it's gonna work, because you gotta think, God don't want us fat. He don't want us tired. He wants us to be able to fight. You can't fight if you're tired.
That's right. And it's funny you said that. Like, how can we actually do what he called us to do if we are not well? Like, so when was it? Last year, I believe. Was it last year? Was it this year? I found out how God sees me. And I think that's so important for us, because when you see how God sees you, that's something that will change you from the inside out. Like, literally, your thoughts will change, your body will change, your life will change. Like, he calls me calm warrior. And I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but he literally calls me calm warrior. But when I first heard it, I was like, wow, calm warrior. But if you would have told me this before I was ready for it, I probably would have laughed. I probably wouldn't believe it, because how can you be calm and also be a fighter? Those things seem to contradict. But with him, I'm calm and I fight for him. I do what I need to do for him. Hence the reason why I'm even doing this. I'm not even, you guys, I have never been an extrovert. People think I'm an extrovert. I am an introvert. I've never thought I would be on social media, YouTube, doing videos, doing lives ever in my life. But he pushed me to be uncomfortable, because he knows that some of you out there who are probably watching this right now need this. And so that is why I am here. And so when I say fighter, so we think fighting as something bad. But when we're fighting for him, we are doing what we need to do to help those other people who need him, who are searching for him, whether they realize they're searching for him or not. And I didn't mean to go all over like that, but I'm just going to be honest, you guys. This stuff is real. This is real life. For me, for Adrian, and for some of you all, but we really want to encourage you guys to go deeper. Like, keep researching. Don't stop researching, because when you stop researching, when you stop learning, then you're automatically giving up on yourself. And when you give up on yourself, you're automatically giving up on God. I know I've said that before, but I'll say it again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm here. I've been doing this whole, let me stand in the gap for you until you're ready, because I was the sleep one, okay? I was the not well one. I was the non-believer. I'm not going to even say that. I was a not believer, but I'm like, maybe I'm just disabled. Maybe this is just the depression, or this is my life. Maybe I have to live with this. I've done all I can. I ran the 1 mile and ate the one salad and gave up. I did that for you. Girl, grow up. Dig deeper, okay? So if anybody ever wanted to add me and say, hey, I seen that live, what can you help me do? Girl, come on. Let's pray. Let's read. Let's study, because it starts there. And that's all I really, really have. It starts there. But once you get past that point, it's easy. What can I help you do? Okay. Fasting is so important, because the fasting is going to clear up your mind, which is going to help you clear up your insides.
That is so good, because it regenerates. So fasting helps your body to regenerate. If you're always eating, then you're not allowing your body to do what it was created to do, which is to regenerate those necessary cells.
And that's the swimming. Me swimming early in the morning, the pool that I swim in, it's ice cold. Ooh. So yeah, you know how the gurus be like, well, you should take a cold shower early in the morning. First thing some say, well, if you got this cold shower and it feels like needles is the worst part of your day, you'll never have another bad thing because that you already experienced the worst part of your day.
Yeah.
Well, if you go a little bit further, it is the regenerative part of your cells. It does get your body and your mind and everything working quick. It's like the coffee. It's the adrenaline. You know, it releases those endorphins that you can do anything, that you're strong and you're powerful. But it's the little things that all match up to be big things.
That's right.
Conquer something small and you'll be able to conquer the day, conquer the month, so on and so forth.
That is so good. Like, oh my gosh. So, like, just starting with a small, like, take one bite. Like, how do you eat a whole cake? You take one bite. I mean, I hope no one does eat a whole cake, but we've eaten a whole lot of something in our past that we wish we wouldn't have eaten, right? So, if you can see yourself eating a whole cake or eating a whole whatever it is that you've eaten in the past, take a bite of your new life. Take a bite of what it is that you know you deserve in your life, and just keep biting. One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
That's all it takes.
It's worth it.
It definitely is worth it. Well, Adrienne, I'm not going to hold you up because we have gone over our time, but this has been really good. It has been like empowering, and I'm hoping that our moms on the other side of the screen will feel the same. And I'm hoping that you guys will rewatch this and actually take some notes. And if you look at these questions down on the screen, I would like for you to answer those questions for yourself. You can answer them based off what she says, and you can go do what she said and research so that you can find those answers. So you guys who are on YouTube, Facebook, we're going to see you all later. I hate that this is the last day. I'm kind of sad, but I will be back, so you don't have to worry about that. And you will still be able to find me on social, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Eventually, you'll find me in other places. But right now, those are my three places that I will be, because I am really intentional about helping you all find you again, because when you find you, that's when life changes. Well, ladies, I thank you so much. We will see you all next time. Hasta luego.